يحضرون لعملية الغياب. المعادلة اختلفت.
Good afternoon. You're watching the English newscast on Future Television. I'm Linda Tamim, and these are today's top stories. The Future movement steps up its campaign against the military tribunal, describing its verdict against former Minister Michel Smeha as a joke. U.S. President Barack Obama hails the success of the summit held with Gulf leaders in Camp David. And an Egyptian court sentences former President Mohamed Morsi to death for a mass prison break in 2011. State Commissioner to the Military Court Judge Sa'ir is working on appealing the verdict issued in the case of former Minister Michel Smeha in light of the emergence of a video of the official that shows him discussing the transportation of explosives and plotting to assassinate Lebanese figures. Sources revealed that the military tribunal that charged Smeha failed to view the video showing the former minister with informant Milad Gfouri, in which he speaks of transporting explosives from Syria to Lebanon in order to carry out attacks. And the Nahar newspaper says Sa'ir will demand that the recording be presented before the court because the verdict only relied on written accounts. The sources added that the case could take a new turn if victims associated in the affair or other mentions in the recording would file a suit before the civil court or demand his retrial on murder attempt charges. And still on the issue, the Future movement have stepped up its campaign against the military tribunal, describing its verdict against former Minister Michel Smeha as a joke, as the Justice Minister went as far as calling for the court's dissolution. This comes as Future movement leader Saad Hariri criticized as too lenient the military tribunal's decision 2 days earlier to sentence Smeha to 4.5 years in prison. The lawmakers emphasized the need to amend the military judiciary law that organizes the work of the military tribunal. A statement read out by MP Hadi Hbeish at a news conference after the parliamentary bloc's weekly meeting said the sentence was in line with other lenient sentences the court had issued in the past, and the military tribunal had lost the citizens' trust over the recent years. The statement compared Smeha's case to that of Faiz Karam, a former aide to Free Patriotic Movement chief Michel Aoun, who handed information to Israel and was released after 18 months in detention. U.S. President Barack Obama has hailed the success of a summit held the day before with 6 Gulf leaders in his Camp David compound, saying that the aim of the meeting was to deepen and broaden the excellent relationship between Washington and its Gulf Cooperation Council allies. Obama was speaking during an exclusive interview with the Arabiya news channel. Here's an extract.
You concluded the summit. Was it successful? Were there any sticking points that either you or your Gulf allies could not achieve?
I think it was very successful, and the intentions here were to deepen and broaden what is already an excellent relationship between the GCC countries and the United States. Obviously, we have a whole range of bilateral security arrangements with the various GCC countries. We've consulted and worked with them on a range of regional challenges, but I thought the time was ripe for us to be able to come together as a group to talk face-to-face about a wide range of these issues, and then to put forward very specific plans in terms of how we can address them. So the joint statement that we issued, I think, reflected the wide range of topics that were discussed. We discussed the important security assurances that I had delivered publicly in venues like the United Nations and had discussed privately, but I think it was important for them at a time when there's so much chaos in the region for the GCC members to hear that the United States is committed, if they are subject to external attack or the threat of attack, to work with the GCC to deter such attacks and defend the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the GCC countries. We also talked about the joint work that we have to do to counter violent extremism in a whole range of areas, from ending the financing of terrorist organizations to improving intelligence to what kinds of capabilities, for example, maritime security, or cybersecurity that are needed, and some of these areas are ones where it's better if we do them together in an integrated fashion. And we discussed Iran and why it is my firm belief that Iran cannot get a nuclear weapon, and the best way to achieve it is if we are able to accomplish a verifiable deal. But what I wanted to emphasize, because I think there's been concerns in the region about Iran's destabilizing activities, is that even if we get a deal on the nuclear issue, we are still concerned with some of those activities by not only Iran and the Quds Force and the IRGC, but also proxies like Hezbollah.
Many people believe that Syria is your Rwanda. It might haunt you for years to come. 200,000 dead, 9 million people displaced, the worst humanitarian crisis in the 21st century. Are we going to see the end of a bloodshed before you leave office, Mr. President?
I'll be honest, probably not, because the situation in Syria is heartbreaking, but it's extremely complex. And I am haunted by the hardships and the deaths. It's something I take very seriously. But when the analogy is used of Rwanda, it presumes that some sort of swift U.S. intervention would have prevented these problems. You have a civil war in a country that arises out of long-standing grievances. It wasn't something that was triggered by the United States. It wasn't something that could have been stopped by the United States. And one of the things that I've said in this summit, and I was very blunt, is that all too often, I think, in the Middle East region, people attribute everything to the United States.
An Egyptian court has sentenced former President Mohamed Morsi to death for a mass prison break in 2011. The court ruled that the sentencing of Morsi and 105 others will be referred to the Grand Mufti for confirmation. Many of those sentenced were tried in absentia, including an influential Islamic scholar based in Qatar. The court will pronounce its final decision on June the 2nd. Morsi, who was overthrown by the army in 2013 amid mass protest against his government, was spared the death sentence in the first of two trials that concluded on Thursday, in which the court advised death sentences for 16 defendants on espionage charges. They had been charged with colluding with foreign powers, the Palestinian group Hamas and Iran, to destabilize Egypt. Egyptian authorities have banned Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood since his overthrow and arrested thousands of his supporters. Moving on to the United States, a jury has decided Zohar Tsarnaev should die for his role in the Boston Marathon bombing in April of 2013. The sentence on Friday came after 14 hours of deliberations on whether Tsarnaev, who was a teenager when he carried out the attacks with his elder brother Tamerlan, should be imprisoned for the rest of his life or be executed. The Associated Press says the 21-year-old did not react when the sentence was read out. Tsarnaev was convicted last month of all 30 federal charges against him, 17 of which carried the possibility of the death penalty. 3 people were killed and more than 260 were injured. 2 pressure cooker bombs packed with shrapnel exploded near the marathon finish line on April the 15th of 2013. And coming up next, we'll tell you all about the Live Love campaign in Lebanon. Stay tuned for the exclusive. With 6.2 million likes, 120,000 followers, and images circulating on social media, Live Love Beirut is a crowdsourced tourism and love campaign made for Lebanon. An initiative created by Live Love Lebanon, a youth NGO that was founded in September of 2012, Live Love Beirut's main goal is that of re-imaging Beirut as a city of culture, sports, history, and innovation. It aims to inspire and support young people and help them create a positive social impact on their hometown and local community. To sum it up, the Live Love campaign is about sharing the beauty of Lebanon, making local projects come to life, and moving people. Live Love Beirut admins Michael Azad and Ralph Saadi tell us more about this beautiful campaign. Welcome, Michael and Ralph,
Hello.
to our platform
Hello.
today. Can you tell us a little bit about Live Love Beirut, Live Love Zahli, and what is it all about?
Okay, so Live Love Beirut is an initiative that started 3 years ago when 2 young best friends, Eddie and Yumna, decided to launch a campaign to show the real beauty of Lebanon. It's actually it's based on social media. We have 3 platforms: Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Our mission is to show the real beauty of Lebanon through the eyes of the young, the youth. Plus, our mission is to empower the youth and to create a change, to make them believe that our country is the best in the world.
Has the campaign been successful so far? Tell us what's so special about it. You guys are focusing on Live Love Beirut and Live Love Zahle, right?
Yes.
Yes, and all other Live Love accounts. But the main account is Live Love Beirut, of course. Of course, the campaign was successful because the community has been grown very fast. Live Love networks have started in every major university and cities around Lebanon, such as Live Love USG, Live Love Sagesse, and Live Love Zahle, Live Love Mzar. And you have all the other Live Love accounts. They can find them on on the Instagram Live Love Beirut.
How have people been reacting to this campaign?
Actually, I want to tell you a funny story. When we first opened our account and we've reached 500 followers, we've made a huge celebration. Whoa, 500 followers! Now we're 100,000 followers from all around the world.
I'd like you guys to focus a little bit about the interactions that you've been having with people, the comments, the feedback. How have people here in Lebanon and abroad been engaging with this campaign? What is the feedback from people in general?
Actually, every day they send us more than 5,000 pictures per day, which is a huge number. We have to pick the best 3 or 5 pictures and to repost them on social media. Actually, the reactions are surprising us day after day.
What are people saying?
Okay, people love Live Love Beirut. They are all wearing our bracelet, and now I've brought some bracelet with me.
We're going to offer you a bracelet from Live Love Beirut.
Oh, very sweet. Thank you.
All the colors.
Let's see.
You can choose the color you want.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I want to say something too, that the Live Love bracelet got sold in 42 countries around the world. And this is all the love for our little Beirut.
Okay.
Yes, and the bracelet are our only fund to help us make the projects come true.
Local projects.
Come true.
What kind of projects, for example?
The organizations such as Tamanna, Sezobel, and Heartbeat, we've helped them a lot. I want to say something, Linda, that people can find Nasib. He is the only one person he is authorized to sell the bracelet of Live Love Beirut. You can find him on Jemmaise Street.
We've helped him by giving him 1,000 bracelets, and he's been selling them for more than 1 year.
Are you guys hopeful we'll get lots of tourists this summer?
Of course, because you can see from now on that all the cafes are full, not only from Lebanese people, but such as American people or...
you have lots of foreigners.
Yes, of course.
Lots of tourists. Did foreigners actually interact with you, for example, at cafes, or did they tell you, did they speak about the whole campaign about Live Love Beirut?
I can say that they ask us about the Live Love Beirut bracelet. Where can they find it?
Yeah.
We are happy when we see that people from outside Lebanon are sharing with us the love that we have to Beirut.
The Future movement steps up its campaign against the military tribunal, describing its verdict against former Minister Michel Smeha as a joke. U.S. President Barack Obama hails the success of the summit held with Gulf leaders in Camp David. And an Egyptian court sentences former President Mohamed Morsi to death for mass prison break in 2011. Those are your Saturday headlines from us here at Future Television. I'm Linda Tanim, and I'll see you again tomorrow for more updates. Take care.